Hello everybody, Jacky here, and I'm basically making this video to serve as an introduction to myself. I am Jack Graves, or Jacky the GenVamp, or Jacky, which I prefer to be called. For those who don't know, the GenVamp thing I originally got from originally looking at this rapper that you guys may have heard of. Let's see, where did I come up with the name? Okay, if you don't know who Sendog is, he's from Cypress Hill. And, of course, he's one of my favorite rappers of all time. And since Sen can mean senator, Gen also can mean general. It can also be pronounced Gen, but it means general. Vamp, obviously, meaning vampire. But that's just the title. Jacky is the name that I prefer to go by. And I have a gaming channel which I serve to have as my main focus. Now, of course, the competition is very fierce, hence why I haven't exactly gotten as many views as I'd want to, especially since I have a job in real life and we all know how that can go. So, basically, I'm going to answer any questions you guys have for me, if you have any. Just shoot them down below and I will definitely look at them or whatnot, alright? So, what I could say is that when it comes to making videos, I just don't want to make videos that, um, when I mean gaming videos, I don't just want to be entertaining. I also want to, of course, come off as a Let's Player that would be trustworthy in a sense, or a reviewer, basically. Because I come at Let's Plays from not just a comical sense, but from a reviewer's sense as well. And that is mainly because, well, it's sometimes it's fun to not just riff on movies, but also, I mean, not movies, to not just make fun of games, but also to play them as well. Now, I mean, to play them and, criticize them and all that, but it also depends on the criticism nowadays, considering that a lot of people have different opinions, and some people are more accepting than others. I myself am very accepting. I've become that way. I used to not be, but I am now. So, yeah. What else I can basically say is I like to review games as I play them. Not exactly cover everything, but cover the main things that you all would notice. Now, some may not like that aspect as much, but it certainly helps add in some jokes. I mean, it works for a lot of other people, including Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, but they're more of Let's Players than a reviewer Let's Player. But then again, in a sense, they're more of the reaction type Let's Players. I am a reaction typer as well, but I'm just a lot different, particularly because I like to also make people feel rewarded. Like, if there's, I try to find things in certain games that would also help give others advantages. Now, sometimes when trying to find those certain advantages or to point out how a game can be fun or why you would want to play this game or that game and showcasing everything that would actually work for it, I apologize if I'm being quite static, but it's definitely something. I also, how do you put this? I basically want to be able to show, to provide incentive for why someone would want to play a certain game, like Resident Evil 4, or Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing, and comment on the controls and whatnot. It's basically covering it. I mean, sometimes I don't have to really provide much incentive. Like with One Shot Arcade, I basically just have one video covering the entire game. Everything about it, it's all explained there. So that's basically what One Shot Arcade is. I also have a podcast in the works that I call the Vamplifier. But yeah, now of course back to my gaming videos that I may have forgot to mention. As some people may have noticed during my streams, I have actually, how do you put this? I have used cheats. But the thing is, I do it to enhance the fun factor of the game. Of course, games can be fun with cheats and without. it really depends on how you want to do this. And sometimes I have to use them to be able to get through games when, like, say, I'm losing at a certain level far too much. And as fun as that is to watch, sometimes you actually have to get through that quickly enough to go on to the next portion. So you suffer for a bit. I suffer for a bit, and then basically just figured, oh, fuck this guy, he's too, or this monster or whatever, he or she or it's far too fucking hard, so I'm gonna basically just kill it. Uh, After either just doing one-shot kills or just being invincible, or sometimes even invincibility doesn't work, like with the chainsaw man or the chainsaw wielders from the Resident Evil 4 games, as well as 5, I believe. They can instant kill you, as well as the Reapers from Resident Evil 5. I'm certain that there's other instant kill monsters, especially the cocoon ones that you fight in Resident Evil Revelations. The Resident Evil side, there are plenty of other games that are hard. I mean, Dark Souls definitely comes to mind, but um, there's also the game that I suffered through immensely called Cuphead. I'm just giving examples as to how hard of certain games that are hard or meant for suffering. I mean, it's good for a while and it's funny, but sometimes you to be able to maintain a good watchable length, you kind of have to make certain videos actually be shorter, and that's where that comes to be. That's what I do basically. Sometimes I use cheats to really get through the game when it's more story driven, or if I have to actually cover stuff, because I want to focus on gameplay as well as story at the same time. Because if the gameplay is too hard, it can be a problem in terms of like progression. Basically, it's something you have to keep in mind whenever you make vids. I mean, some people are pros and don't need cheats. Me, sometimes I need them to be able to show off more fun stuff that the game may offer. I mean, it really depends. I'm not going to use that for everything. I've been debating about covering the Hyperdimension Neptunia games, but those games are ridiculous. I mean, they have a lot of talking, a lot more than Yakuza, and it's basically just ends up it pads out the entire runtime, so that can actually be a problem for some viewers. Not and now some people may find it too girly, but me, I don't have a problem with that. But really, I'm just basically looking around on stuff, making sure everything's good. So don't mind me. As I am Batty. I am a vampire bat who just so happens to be a gamer slash nerd, otaku, all that stuff. Now, of course, there are other things to me besides that. I do like art and swimming, the ocean, dragons, mythology, history especially. I love to read and learn, so that's another thing to keep in mind. Um, what else can I tell you guys? Uh, God damn it, I have to go back. What the hell's wrong with me? Shit. Okay, there we go. Now I do have another channel which I want to provide my podcast on, but my other friend has not been as available to make videos on. I, of course, at one point wasn't very accepting of criticism, as I, of course, made some videos as well. They served as kind of short films. Uh, you can find the link to that on my channel here, which is, of course, well, you're watching this on right now. The gaming channel, basically. This is just the other channel that I have in case I have other ideas. There are some other friends that I have other ideas with that I like to work on and such, and yeah. There's so much that I want to do. In fact, I'm also going to school for the sole purpose of, how do you put this? Becoming basically a computer technician. Now, work is not the only thing I deal with, but school is definitely another factor. So, and making money at YouTube, the thing that you guys may not actually know is that YouTube is not actually my full-time job. This is just basically more of a hobby for me. I mean, I do this primarily for fun, but as well as to show um, some credibility, to be entertaining in a sense. Um, so that's one thing to know about me. I have a job in real life, so it's going to be really hard to make this a full-time job, especially since, it's not entirely well suited at the moment. Otherwise, I'd have more videos out more often. In fact, I kind of want to put more videos out, and I definitely have to get my brand out there more often. I've got tons of tips from friends and such. Um, I'm willing to take suggestions, but um, things are going to be hard to provide considering no sponsorship, which means I won't exactly be getting free games, which is a which is a huge downer. Um, Everything will work out in the end if I am able to get a sponsor or more people to work with. GenVamp Gaming will become a lot bigger than what it is now. I do have a VidMe as well, but there's just not much going on at the moment. I thought I was originally going to also have this be on Vimeo or Zipcast, but that hasn't really been, coming into fruition. But VidMe is the other place that I can definitely recommend people go to in case things don't go well, especially since there's a lot of changes in the way YouTube's been going in terms of getting noticed and such. It's a big cluttered market for gaming, and it's sometimes hard. And yeah, so I basically do stuff for fun, and what I like to do also is interact with you, my viewers. Um, I'm also trying to build a community, and at one point I used to work with a certain channel that is unfortunately not, well, fortunately, I'm not going to say unfortunately because no, they were terrible to me when I worked for them. Fox Riben. Um, you can't find any videos of them on there anymore, especially only because, well, the channel I used to work on, that channel, basically, okay, see how it says one or more videos have been removed from the playlist because they were deleted, right? Okay, well, the thing to understand is the reason why they were deleted is because the channel is gone. And I removed them from the playlist because I see no purpose in actually having any videos be put on my playlist that are deleted. I just do not do that. Also, and I even make a mention of it here because I like to add. I also like to add notes as well to my stuff, including in the description as well. Here's my playlist for cameos, crossovers, and other stuff. The deleted videos removed from this playlist because the channel associated with them, Fox Riben, got deleted, which I just mentioned. I also like to answer any questions from viewers because I think viewer interaction is another nice thing that other streamers, some do, some don't. I know that they can't always do it when they get big, but I figured since I'm small, um, I'm gonna actually try and do that. Some people here are actually quite helpful to me. Big shout out to Y-Boy and Matt for helping to do my art. I came up with rough sketches and they helped fill in the rest. I also need more friends that are able to help me with editing. I mean, I have some skills. I'm very skilled, but I'm not the best, basically. Uh, my friend who has this channel, Taste the Frack You, his name is, I think it's Christian, or Chris as I call him. Yeah, whenever he's available or any other friends are available that are able to actually help me with my podcast, that'd be great because I need mainstays for that podcast. Um, I have plenty of friends. Some are a lot more busy with real life than others. I will continuously keep on adding people here that are really good friends with me or whatnot. And now I know that there's going to be some that don't even use YouTube or don't want to be included here, and I humbly respect that. But to be able to grow a community, what I like to do is to show my appreciation for that community by having like a buddies section, a friends section, basically. So I know it's different than what anyone might think, but that's just how I do it. Um, when I review games, I do it in a Let's Play format because that's what's popular now. Now there are other people that are more popular than Let's Players. I definitely know that John Tron and the Completionist, Peanut Butter Gamer, and many others, especially Angry Joe, they're all different in their own way. Some provide more incentive on stuff than others, which is fine. I'm trying to do something different. Well, similar but different. For me, I'm kind of going the completionist route, but I guess it's kind of like Super Beard Bros in that sense, or Game Grumps, but I try to stay more on task. Um, Mainly because I want to seem relevant. I also live in the shadows a lot, hence why I'm, hence the fact that I'm a bat, basically. Uh, so that's pretty much it. For any updates, basically, I'm gonna be posting them on Twitter, which is where I mainly go. I do, of course, post some updates on the Facebook page as well, which I sometimes go on to, but not a lot anymore. I have a WordPress that I need to work on more when I get the time. So, I'm thinking if there's enough time, I could possibly do that. So, yeah, it's all a matter of when is basically it. So, I guess that's it, really. Also, with the subscription portion, you just got to click the bell icon on the channels when you see it. Now, I like, I just also want to say that I like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier and how they use basically the video webcam. I'm basically the guy in the window webcam that they always use in all of their videos because they like to do that, just like this. See, this is all really cool. I like doing that, and the reason why I have not exactly done that, I stopped doing that mainly because I've fell out of actually doing videos like that. I've done it. I stopped doing it mainly for faster productions, and not just because of faster production. I saw that you can still actually be quite good at making let's plays, even if you don't show your face. Nico B definitely does not show his face because there's plenty there that he covers, especially shit that I hate, like Danganronpa. I know some people don't like that, but there's some games that some may request me to do. I'm definitely going to continue on with Persona 5. He doesn't show his face, Nico B, and that's perfectly fine. Uh, I do have ad block, but for some reason it's being a dill hole here, so I'll just let this fucking thing finish, and I will give you a brief snippet. You see how he's not shown here? I actually prefer to do videos in his style because he's not just because he's funny, but also because I just like how he also, like Jacksepticeye, he basically provides voices for the characters, and Jack is really good at that. So yeah, I of course need to find someone who's better at making let's play. I mean, thumbnails. I know some people who can, but I need someone that I can definitely ask for help on with that. So yeah, Nico B is one of my more main uh, influences now. I like John and the completionist and all them, but you know, I just have a more direct influence now because I know who I'd like to be like, and I'm not ripping off anyone. No, not at all. I would never rip off anyone because I also not just want to play popular games. I want to play games that I specifically like. as well as what others like, and possibly cover some stuff that hasn't gotten as much attention or whatnot, you know? Yakuza being one of those games that I really like. There's plenty of other stuff I'm getting into that I definitely want to cover. Definitely want to play Saints Row. I'm a big fan of that. Um, I guess I could just say, I'm not sure if I want to cover the first Saints Row though, because that was kind of a pain with its gameplay and all. So, one thing I'm going to say is this. There are some games I'm going to be skipping out on. And as much as I hate to actually say that, that's really something that I'm going to be avoiding. Um, since I have some money but not a lot, there's definitely going to be some changes. And I'm going to focus on some stuff that's not just cool, stuff I like and all that. And I have a lot of stuff to cover in that regard. And I got into PC gaming. I like consoles as well as PC, but I like PC a bit more because a lot of stuff goes there. The parts can be upgraded, and it just seems to work out better for me. I'm certain that it possibly can be upgraded with consoles too. I'm certain there's possibly some videos out there, and people like Rags, who's another YouTuber, that definitely showed me all that. So the games that I specifically want to play are a lot of action and adventure games, as well as a lot of open world stuff. More, I'm also when it comes to first, I also want to play first person games, some horror stuff, but mostly a lot of action, um, including platformers and fan games. I'm gonna try and keep an open mind here. I may possibly come back to doing Minecraft videos again and voicing my cat character that I wanted to continue on with. But the thing is, I've been slacking, and work got in the way and all that shit. So, but yes, moving on. I'm sorry, I'm just browsing through some stuff. I know I hate IGN, but sometimes when it comes to news, I do want to actually look on here. But anyway, moving on to my main point, which is I do want to get a Switch, but I can't cover every game because, copyright and such, and I don't monetize my stuff, so that's another thing to keep in mind. Not really big on anime games, but I still want to play some. There's a lot I need to get into, including ones that may not have been well received. Um, so yes, there's definitely ones. The ones I don't want to play specifically, if anything, would be Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, CS:GO. I guess you could say those kinds of games there. I'm not sure if I would make any Overwatch videos because that's all the rage. Plus, I'm not exactly as good as that in that game. I mean, I can be good at shooters, sure, but when I do Let's Plays, I like to, of course, focus on the story as well as the gameplay, not just through doing anything else. I mean, I guess I could focus on multiplayer, but I need some people to play with in order to do that, and it just depends on who's up for the job, basically. So, that's pretty much it for that. Um, there's some stuff I may skip out on. I was going to eventually continue on with Rechain of Memories, but even though I know what happens, and the gameplay is good for some, it's just not for me. That's just how I go with it. So, um, there's plenty of others. Some stuff I can emulate, including Chrono Trigger, but I'm afraid of getting flagged for that one. At least I hope I don't get flagged. And there's just so much here that I have to work with, including Agents of Mayhem, which is probably just going to be a one-shot. There is the idea of covering Mass Effect. I can definitely do that. I have Steam, I have Origin, I have GOG. It's just a matter of when and where. And like I said before, I know it seems like I'm talking in circles, but um, let's just say that I know exactly what I want. It's just a matter of getting around to it. Also, another thing I wanted to point out: there's this game that I'm going to be covering. It's called let's see. Fuck it, I'll just search it. uh, Freedom Planet. Now, some know this game, some don't, and that's fine. Um, what I can tell you is that it's basically a Sonic fan game, a former Sonic fan game that became its own game. This is something I'm going to be covering whenever I get the chance, which will possibly be soon. Who knows? um, but yeah, it's definitely a cool game that, in my opinion, is better than Sonic. And it was a really tough call between deciding between this game as well as Sonic Mania and one other platformer, which is let me just type it up here, Spark the Electric Jester, which I actually do want to cover, but the enemies seem kind of small, and I'm not sure if I want to do a one-shot on it or not. So I'm going to play quite a bit of this game before I make any decisions. Sonic Mania, on the other hand, I might end up doing a one-shot on that. I don't know. Maybe I'll beat the whole game. Who knows? I mean, I should have. I've gotten pretty far in my non-stream playthrough, so only time will tell with what's going to happen. So I'm always going to stay batty, considering that you know what you know why. I don't even have to explain it. So I also want to try and make some other stuff, but it's just a matter of when and where, and getting a bigger place to actually film and whatnot. So it's just a matter of when, and that's pretty much it. So yeah. That's all I got to say on this video. If you have any comments or concerns or whatnot, please shoot them down below, and I will definitely look at them or whatnot. Because it's a big, long process. There's a lot of games to cover. I've been basically condensed myself from covering movies and shows and such into covering mostly just games, mainly because it's what I've been doing mostly anyway for free time. So I just combined that with recording and streaming, and it worked. So yeah, um, I also like to review like not just the gameplay and aspects of it, but as well as other aspects, which include the likes of bonus modes, characters with it in that modes, how they differ from each other, and just showing how it all goes well together. Now, sometimes I may seem slightly deceitful, but one thing I will always say is I only use cheats in single player only. I never use them against my friends or other players because that gets you banned and that makes you look like a dick. And I gotta say, that's not a good way to be. So, yes, that is the true way of staying batty in my way, especially considering what I am. I know I may be ego stroking, I apologize, but you know where I'm going with this. So, anywho, that's enough of that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm ending this video here. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next videos. Stay batty, my friends.